Hey, guys. Welcome to Sober Talk. My name is Tom Mabe. Before we get started, a quick shout out to our sponsor who's making this all possible, hempwellnessfarm.com. That's hempwellnessfarm.com. So I want to switch rooms, give you guys a second to get situated, get everybody here. Give me a second. All right, thanks. Stand by. Hold on, everybody, hold on here. Let's hold on there. Simmer down. Simmer down. Simmer down. Hey, how are you? So hey guys, welcome to the show. Bev Holland, how you doing? Bev's always here first. She is always here first. She's a good egg. Let's get everyone a second to get in. We have a packed show, Bev. I'm very excited. It's a good show. Put on my main page. I'm going live tonight. I need some guests for Sober Talk. A lot of times, if I put the phone number up there, people are calling, but they won't. They just keep on calling back, and I get that call waiting noise going off, and it's just hard to. It's really hard to do it. To be on a call and keep on hearing beep 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 beep. So I like calling people as opposed being called. Bill is here. Hey, Bill, how you doing, brother? So, yay. So let us just get set up here and give it a second for everyone to catch on, and we will get started. A good day for me, guys. Obviously, good days because you know what today is? Today is 81. 81. Day 81. Eden Marie, how you doing? And always let me know what you think about the volume out there in Facebook land. Hello, Facebooks. Tom Mabe here. Welcome to Sober Talk. You're here because you want to get sober, you need to get sober. Maybe you're just sober curious. I don't know what your deal is. Anywho, I'm glad you are here. I have quit drinking many a times. You guys heard this. I've gone 6 months, gone a year, gone 2 years. And man, it never works. It takes, and so I'm doing it a little differently this time. Personally, I'm trying the 12 steps, and so far so good. I'm liking it, enjoying the meetings. I do the 7 o'clock morning meeting in Louisville called the Early Worms. They're a good group of people. I've yet to speak on the show. I just kind of hang out and listen because I'm a slow learner, and I'm just slow getting through the steps to the steps. David Evanston, first time for me here. David Evanston, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Welcome to Sober Talk. David, we talk about everything. We talk about incredible, embarrassing alcohol, drunkenness, war stories, and sometimes those stories are hilarious. Sometimes they're god awful, and they end in divorce. They end in people losing their house. Sometimes they even end up in death. A lot of people who I know of who had died because they were using too much or drinking too much, and they say, "How do you know if you got a drinking problem?" If it causes problems. So that's, if you ever want to know if you have a drinking problem, just tell me, just ask yourself, has it caused problems? So, and real quick, I do want to plug my little company because it's making it to where I can afford to do this. I'm not at my home, I'm at an office. It's the Sober Talk Broadcast Center, and I want to hire a little person, like about like this big. Maybe this big, something like a small. We got a small space, so if I can get someone of a smaller stature, that'd be nice. But to offset the cost, I just like to plug my sponsor. It's a great company called hempwellnessfarm.com. Hempwellnessfarm.com. I'm put it right here. If you ever do use the CBD, please give us a shot. I think our prices are great, and I think our service is great. We talk to everyone who orders. So you can come in to the store or you can just order from hempwellnessfarm.com. All CBD, all creams, isolates, full spectrums with the THC. It's 0.03% THC. So, all right, so let's get to it. Let me go ahead and call our first caller here. Give me a second. Make sure I am hooked up. Yeah, day 81, Bev. Can you believe that crap? That's amazing. For me, it's amazing, right? So, all right.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, it's Tom Mabe. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Michael Trone, right? It's Trone or Tony or
Yes, sir.
Trone?
Trone.
What part of the world do you live in?
I live in Beaumont, Texas.
Beaumont, Texas.
Yes, sir.
All right. I was just in the Houston area, and I love Texas. I don't get down there enough, but I love your airports. I usually fly through Houston or Dallas, and great airports, big airports, really nice. So tell us your story. How long have you been sober?
So I've been sober for a little over 5 years.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, I used to drink pretty heavily. I got a DUI when I was 21, and it was about at that point in my life when I decided to try to get sober.
Yeah.
Took a few years. Took me going to jail a few times.
Oh, wow. So
but
yeah. Okay.
but I finally got sober. So it's probably around 2015, early 2015 that I got sober.
Yeah. So about 5 years
Um,
now, right?
yes, sir.
And
And it was. Go ahead.
but was it hard? Was it difficult? So you were in your mid 20s when you quit. Was it difficult to stop for you? How did you do it?
Um, so it was very difficult for me to stop. I was drinking probably a half a fifth of vodka each night, and partying with everybody, going
Yeah.
to backyard cookouts and stuff, and it was very difficult because my friend base all drank. But what really put me over the edge was I used to do MMA when I was in my
And
late teens, early 20s.
so that's mixed martial arts, right? MMA for folks
Yeah,
at
it's
home.
mixed.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Mixed martial arts, and I got sober, and I was about 2 years in, and I had a really bad, almost relapse. A couple of buddies wanted me to go drink, and I almost did. And instead, I went out back and I started hitting the bag, and it brought back the feeling of fighting when I was younger. So I was like, you know what? Every time I think I'm going to drink, I'm going to come and train. And it got to where it was like daily.
Well, geez, I'd be waking up
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, going to hit the bag at 3. Wait, I want beer. What are you doing out back? I'm hitting the bag, baby. Go back to me. I'm hitting the bag.
And that's about how it was. There were a few pretty down and dirty moments where I was looking at the bottle, thinking I wanted to drink, and then looked at the bag and decided to hit that. Took some aggression out, and I really started getting focused on training. And every time I thought about drinking, I trained, and I got to where I was training almost 8 hours a day. I would go get up 6 a.m., go to work, get done with work about 3, and then I would stay at the gym or wherever I was training until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, every single night, solid. There were times where I went an entire month of just training, no days off.
Wow, what a great man! You're inspiring me because I've turned my obsession into housework, or cleaning up, and I'll get the whole family involved. All right, work ethic time. You Josh, you're on the floor. Mackenzie, you're on trash, and I'm really obsessed with. But boy, if I could get obsessed with working out or going for walks and then working my way up to jogging again, boy, that would be great. So it's safe to say you're in good shape, right now?
Yeah, I try to stay in shape. I have a Facebook page called the Fitness Family FB, and a YouTube channel.
I repeat that. The Fitness Family FB is like as in Facebook FB.
Yeah, it's at the Fitness Family FB, and then our YouTube channel is the Fitness Family. Each word is capitalized.
So do you do you have kids and whatnot? Or are you talking about
I do.
tell?
No, I have kids.
Okay, go, cool. So did you have to go one thing at a time? Did you have to go? Yeah, multiple DUIs. When you initially quit, did you go detox somewhere or go to some kind of facility to help you out, or did you just white knuckle it?
So I didn't actually. I mean, I would consider it a white knuckle. I don't know how your channel is, but I'm a Christian.
Yeah, well,
So I
a lot of us are atheists here. A lot of us are Christian. We are not, man. We are not affiliated with any program. Like I'm doing AA, and I got a faith based background. We got some people here who is all they just believe, they just want to do the medicine and therapy, and so yeah. But half and half, I would say.
well, the reason why I mentioned that is I was gonna go into a treatment program, and there was a 12-step program, and then a family friend of mine referred me to a verse in the Bible talking about it's from Proverbs. I don't know the exact verse, so excuse me for quoting, but it basically says that those that are sorrowful drink wine to cure their sorrows, and those that are fearful drink wine to cure their fear. And I read that verse and I thought, well, I'm not sorrowful and I'm not fearful, so I don't have a need to drink those. And that just gave me a drive to want to turn it into something physically beneficial for my body rather than just drinking myself into oblivion like I was.
Wow. Well, the Bible has some great to be so old. It has a lot of great verses and whatnot. So you just relied on God and just now. Did you ever go to meetings or the big book is a whole lot
I
like the
did.
Bible? Okay, gotcha.
I did.
Anything stick with you? Did you ever find a decent meeting or did you just want to drink after you left?
Some of the meetings, it depends on how big the group was, and I guess the dedication of the people in the group. But some meetings made me want to go drink. Other
Yeah.
meetings really gave me inspiration to not drink. Seeing other people who were on a similar path. I actually met one of the first people that I started training hard MMA with in AA group in Vacaville, California, when I was living there.
Wow.
Yeah, it definitely, it was good and bad. It just depends on the meeting, I guess.
I see. I see. So yeah, so I think finding that right group, I really like the Zoom meetings. I just think to me those are just are the best. I just can't get enough of the Zoom meeting, and I guess because I don't have to get up and go to them, or the one I go to is 7 a.m. So I can't imagine getting up at 6, and
To go to
trying
a
to get
meeting.
there at 7 for the. So have you in 5 years have you had any like relapse? Have you have
Almost, but I never drank. I came close a couple times. Me and the mother of my children ended up splitting ways during my sober period, and that was a very difficult time. The wife that I'm with now is super supportive of my soberness and my fitness journey, and she takes part in all the YouTube and Facebook stuff, and it's a good
does she
positive
drink?
environment. She will have a glass of wine here and there, but she is again, she's never been a drinker. She was always kind of stayed away from alcohol, so just having like a wine cooler so often here and there, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me want to relapse, but she definitely drinks a wine here and there.
I see. I see. That's my wife is we were just we went to a bar and I had Sprite and she sat there and had chocolate martinis and I was totally fine with it. I was totally fine
Me
with it.
too.
Oh, cool. So that you can do that. And yeah, so it's a self-medication. So now you're kind of self-medicating doing the just working out. You think you're addicted to working out now?
Oh, 100%. Like I drink pre-workout. So for anybody out there that does lifting, most people, you see those memes on Facebook when the pre-workout kicks in, and that's my only drug. That's the only substance that I use now. Is the pre-workout before working out, and if I go 12 hours without lifting in some way, push-ups, sit-ups, something, I feel like I'm going crazy, and that's what it's developed.
Yeah, that used to be me. I know a lot of people change one addiction for another. They'll say, I don't drink anymore. I just smoke pot. I'm like, well, isn't that kind of the same? I have somewhat ambivalent about that theory, but I mean, I don't do anything. But I had a family member who started running marathons, and they would get up at 4 a.m. to run 25 miles twice a week, and it was just
Wow.
a yeah, and I'm like, boy, he's running for something other than from other, than issues. So that's, I think, it's kind of like that rat in the corner. You're you're trying to you're trying to get out. You're trapped. And so, in lieu of drinking, well, if I do this. But are you happy with it? Are you continuing to do meetings? Are you working on your mind? Are you a happy guy? Like a lot of times, I've gotten sober, and I was, I always say being sober, alcohol free is one thing, but being alcohol free and happy is another thing. Are you happy? You sound like you're happy.
I, I am most definitely happy. Don't get me wrong. The first 2 years of sobriety was not a happy time. It was as far from happy as you could possibly get. But once I took that anger in sobriety, and at first it was an anger. I was angry, like, why did I quit this? How could I quit this? I'm stupid. I'm losing all my friends. Nobody wants to hang out anymore. And I just realized that, once I turned sobriety into making my body, my mind, everything stronger in every way that I can, I started gaining friends that had a like-minded individual. Like, to
Did
be
you have
honest,
to did you have to get rid of the old friends?
I did. Oh, so yes, they were very bad influences
Yeah, tell me
in my
about tell
life.
me about that.
Well, so we used to, when I was a teenager, in Vacaville, California, we would get drunk, and this is long before I was 21. And I was cage fighting at the time, so I was a big kid. I was like 160 pounds at 16 years old.
Right, right,
And
okay. I see.
I had like 11% body fat. So I was training very regularly in my early age, but they would convince me to go out and get drunk. And when I get drunk, I don't know why, but I can't stand other drunk people when I'm drunk. So if we went to a party
So
and there were
when you're
other
drunk
drunk
or when
people
you're
around,
sober, when you're drunk or when you're sober, you can't stand other drunk people.
when I'm drunk. So when I would drink, I couldn't be around other like super drunk people. They just get annoying and in your face, and I got this like chip on my shoulder, like people hanging on me. I know you've had it happen where people just come and put their arm around you, and you're like, I don't know you, and you have to take their arm off of you. And that's how it was, and I would end up getting in fights because people would get offended when I'm like, don't put your arm around me. And it led to
So what, do people just come
me
up, just
going.
random people? Are you somewhat popular in your area? Or are you a good looking guy, or people you don't
I
know
was
putting their
not popular.
you're
It was large groups of people at parties,
Oh, I
so it's
see. Yeah,
just
so
really
people, hey, what's
common.
up, dude? Good, Michael, what's up? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Took me a
And
second.
it led to fights. It definitely led to fights. So getting rid of that group base that wanted to get me into those situations helped tenfold.
All right, so okay, I'm going to wrap up because I got calls on. What advice would you give anybody trying to stop using? They're getting off Bud Light, they're getting off Adderall, they're getting off pain pills, whatever it may be. What advice would you give if one of your buddies came and say, hey, man, I want to stop drinking? What would you tell them?
The biggest piece of advice I have is that when you do get sober, make sure that you have something to focus your mind on. Keep busy physically and mentally at the same time, and you won't think about drinking. And it's getting rid of that thought of drinking that helps you get sober.
And this guy, just Carl, just asked. Let's see, caller tonight. This is Carl. We are talking to Michael Trone. Michael Trone is from Texas, and he says, caller, did not catch your name, but great conversation. Wow, it can be really crazy how people we used to hang around, family or otherwise, are simply not able to accept us when we are sober. Too many times people knew that they could take advantage of us when we were high, drunk, or drunk or however. I found that I could not expect others to immediately accept me when I was sober. So, well, brother, and you got a new group of sober friends, right, Michael?
I do. All sober friends.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks for the call. I really appreciate you calling in, all right?
All right. Thank you so much, Tom.
All right, buddy. We'll talk again. Thanks, Michael.
All right. Bye.
So that was Michael Trone from Texas, Houston area, and yeah, that was really what a great share that was, man. So again, this is not a AA meeting. This is just people who are in kind of purgatory where they don't know where to go, or maybe they're, like I said, they're just sober curious, or a lot of you guys are sober. Many of you, I know that's been in our little founding group here, are struggling with getting sober or just struggling with life in itself. And well, I like it. Why do I like this? I'm having a good time, guys. I'm in a damn good mood tonight. I don't know why. I went home and took a nap. I think I've just been kind of sleep deprived, and I just feel so much better when I sleep. So yeah, Bev Hollis says structure, 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 and that's me. I have to have some kind of accountability, some kind of structure, some kind of schedule. Otherwise, I go off the rails, man. Crazy, crazy. All right, we're going to call Nick Coffey real quick. He has a relative that needs help. He's not so much. So you guys chime in with Nick and let us know what we can do to help this guy. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Nick. Tom Mabe from Sober Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, rocking like docking.
Rocking like docking. So you, what part of the country are you in? What part of the world are you in?
Originally from Cincinnati and currently live in Southern Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, Marion, all that kind of stuff.
I
About
see.
an hour away from any state.
Well,
I actually live in the hometown of Jerry Sloan, the head coach of the Utah Jazz,
wow,
for a lot of years.
I have no idea who the hell that guy is, but I suspect.
Geez.
Does he have a nice house, or did he? You know, Brad Pitt's from Illinois as well.
It's massive.
Wow. So you and I spoke earlier. I put on Facebook that I'm trying a new thing, Nick, where I'm trying to, because when I open up the phone lines, the phone's just inundated with calls, and people are just keeping calling back. So I prefer to have it this way, where I call people and discuss it. And I put that on Facebook. So you answered my little email, my little post there. You have someone close to you. It's not so much you needing help; it's someone you know needing help.
Yeah, I guess it's my mother. It goes back to probably, I don't know, maybe late 2013, early 2014, when my little brother passed away. She was actually about 100 yards from where the accident happened. So she heard the last thing that happened to my brother. Before then, she was always getting on my younger brother, my older brother, about their drinking. We have a very, very big history of alcoholism in the family. And it was something that I personally got away from. I actually quit drinking when I turned 21.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
Yeah,
hey, I'm 21.
no,
it's legal. I can stop drinking.
Yeah,
in Cincinnati, it's legal.
I can get it anytime I want. So I just, it was just a personal choice. My brother Jeremy was in the Marine Corps, and big problem with alcoholism, DUIs, things like that. Got sober himself, and pretty much told everybody in the family as well. He ended up getting married, having a few kids, and he didn't want his kids around all of it either. And that's kind of where I'm at the moment, because she was always using, telling my brothers, hey, you guys need to quit drinking and partying all the time. Meanwhile, she would go out and do the same thing.
How old is your mom?
Oh gosh. Well, she was born in 62.
Oh wow.
So she's not quite 50 yet.
Yeah, it's probably, she's 58 and a half, 59 years old. Okay. And wow, that's not much older than me.
I just assume that maybe a lot of this has come up, just as she's getting older, things are changing, kids have moved out, I moved away with my family. Some things happened during 4th of July this year, while she was beyond inebriated. saying things like, the son that loved me was the one that died and things like that. And,
Oh, wow.
you know,
So,
we had had enough. And I told her, because my whole thing was, and I talked to a bunch of friends of mine and I, that are very Christian based as well as me, in my faith. And I just asked them, I said, I have a lot of anger towards her when I see these things. And they said, stay away from her. She's got to fix herself before you can try to fix it. And the more angry you get, the worse you're going to be. My kid does something and I go to punish them. Maybe I'm a little more apt to make the punishment worse because of my anger towards, my family members.
No. So
Things like that.
let me interrupt. So your mom,
Yes, sir.
who's 58 and a half, 59 years old, still that's very young. She says something to you. She said, well, the son who really loved me is the one who died. And
yeah,
so
it was just the last straw. I mean, it was a number of things over the past 6 years.
Well, let me. Was she drunk when she said that?
Oh, absolutely.
So part of my program that I'm in is one of the steps is making amends, and that's not apologizing. That's just someone acknowledging. Here, what I said. Here's what I did. Here's what. And I'm a long ways away from making amends. And the people, I will tell you, drunk. I have said something equally as bad, and I got people who will not let me make amends to them. I guarantee it. So I'm not saying give your mom a break, but I will say that I get it. I totally get it. So
there's a big difference. You're trying to make amends.
I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to. This whole sober talk, everything is me part of the.
And I've been watching. I have been watching,
okay.
And it's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you do this. Looking at I've been a part of your page and stuff for a long time, so big fan actually.
Well, let's talk about the kids. When I was, you always heard about the dad who have a bad day at work and comes home and kicks the dog. That you do have a tendency. When I had so much stress at work and I had employees and I would get upset with employees for whatever reason, or I would come home and I would take it out on my family, and I would. But no matter what there was always something wrong. And the first step is just stopping. As soon as you stop drinking or using or whatever you're doing, things just get better, man. It's just
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just and even like the worst day. And then last week, Monday and Tuesday were really bad days for me. I had a lot of triggers. I was down at the beach, but I woke up sober. I woke up without a hangover. I didn't drink. And so there's no problem. I'm still on an emotional roller coaster. My brain is still trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing to it because my brain is pissed off at me because I'm depriving it of these endorphins, dopamines, and the alcohol. But
Absolutely.
you don't drink. You quit drinking when you were 21.
No. Yeah, I just turned 39 in July actually. So we were there for my birthday at the same time.
Okay. So yeah. But do you feel like because you could be an addict of some sort because you had trauma and trauma and abandonment probably growing up. And do you question how you conduct yourself around your children, or how you discipline them? Or do you get mad at your mom and take it out on your kids?
Well, it's kind of the same thing you were talking about. Coming home from work. It's a lot easier to say, leave your problems at the door. It's so much harder to. When you leave home and you're upset about something at home, that you go into work and it makes a bad day. My problem is I don't ever really, I'm not one of those parents that just constantly am on my children about every little thing they do. But I did notice that, when something would happen with my mom, that it would make me upset. And then the next time, let's say my daughter dropped a glass of milk or something and spilled it on the carpet, I was a little more angry about it than I would have been. Normally, I'd just be like, all right, let's go get a towel and clean it up. No big deal. So for my health and the health of my wife and kids, I cut all ties. She was sending text messages saying, well, when I die, you can dance on my grave and you don't ever have to come back and visit and blah, blah, blah. So it just kept going.
No, yeah.
So in your case, you were trying to make amends you were trying to do the right thing and say, hey, I messed up and I did something that was horrible and this, that, and the other. And I'm not like, it's not even happening. Like, she's not even accepting that she did things, and I'm not the only family member she's taken it out on. So it's always, everybody has to hear her side of everything, and she doesn't want to accept what anybody else has to say to her. So she's almost, for lack of a better way of saying it, she's almost playing the victim 24/7, like she was the one that everybody dumped on when she was causing all the chaos. And it's just one of those things where I just say, hey, I've got to get away from that situation,
Right.
so that I can make sure that my home and my well-being is at peace. And, she's aware of how quick life can change, because she was there and lived it. I know that, me personally, it would suck that if something happened to her. Obviously, I don't want anything to happen to my mother, but if it did, and this relationship stopped where it was, I know that I'm okay, because I did what I had to do to keep me and my family sane and healthy and away from that.
So when's the last time you talked to her? When's the last time you actually spoken with her and shared your concerns? Like, Mom, I think your life will get a lot. I totally get it. Your mom is self-medicating. So, she was right there when your brother passed, when your brother died, or that's. But when are you talking with her at all much, or
no?
Okay, and how long again has it been?
Since July. I mean, that's how bad it was. After everything went down, I text her, hey, I'm sorry that this is going on, blah, 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 blah. And it was met with all those other text messages saying all the crap that I just told you about her dying. And you can dance somewhere, you don't ever have to come back, and I'm going to block you, and this, that, and the other. And honestly, it's not really weighing on my mind that I'm not talking to her. What's weighing on my mind is, when I do talk to her, what do I do and say without absolutely going off the hinges and just letting it out? Because I know that one day there's going to be a day where I just let it all loose.
Right.
But I know right at the beginning may not be the best time.
Because you could be sober and let it, and like your mom gets drunk and says those bad things, you could dance on my grave and whatnot, and you could be angry and say equally as bad things. This thing in the program talking about keeping your side of the street, clean.
Yes.
I don't recommend any real phone calls, or I recommend a handwritten letter and getting it to her. That's my, and again, I'm nobody. I'm just some dude who's 81 days sober, who's using his fan base to hold him accountable. I don't care about you guys. I'm just holding.
Listen,
I'm teasing.
Every day you wake up, that's another day.
Yeah.
It's another day. It's another accomplishment. You just keep going, and I'm going to continue to pray for you as well. I just keep doing what you're doing, because I love the fact that you started this. And I think it's gonna help a lot of people.
I think so too. And depending on how much I push it, it could even get really big. But I don't care about it getting big. I've had big. I don't need big. I just need. I need people, and I need structure. And coming in here most every night at 8:00 and doing this. But have you thought about maybe just writing your mom a handwritten letter, not an email, not a text, but just and sending it to her, just a letter?
No, thought hadn't crossed my mind. I can't even remember the last time I bought stamps or anything. I wouldn't even know how many you put on the envelope.
Well, you can just take it to the post office. You better go before they shut down. But
yeah, no kidding.
I have a really close sibling. I have a sibling that I haven't spoken with in many, many years, and that sibling would. I had determined that the sibling had issues beyond their control. And for years and years, and we were like the double-headed monster. We were both manic, and I said, so I don't care if you're bipolar. We just can't go bipolar at the same time, because we would just go at it with each other and fight and fight. But at one point, my mom died, and during that, my mom died. I just pretty much said that sibling died with my mom because I did not know how to deal with someone like that, and
Yeah.
again, someone like me, because a lot like me, both a lot of struggles, but I just couldn't. There was no matter what I did, uh, I couldn't make me right. I couldn't make them right. I just couldn't
Hmm.
do it, and I haven't spoken to them in many many years, and it sucks that it's that way, but I just know that chances are 90% chance it's going to end bad. And I got a call from the individual a few months ago, and I said, hello. He goes, Tommy? I recognize I just hung up. And I blocked the number.
Oh,
And then they called from a different line, but I recognized the area code. So I hung up again, blocked that number. And so I don't think you're there yet to that point, but
no.
I totally get it. And again, some dude from Kentucky, would recommend a handwritten letter that they could take out, they could pen it, and read it from time to time, and they'll reply to it when they're drunk. When your mom's drunk, she'll reply to it. But
Oh, I'm sure.
you just need to tell her, because I think you can control the emotion that way. If you get on the phone with her or talk with her in person, you haven't talked to them since July,
Yeah,
just
it's gonna come out.
But
It'll be loud.
yeah, but until she gets sober, nothing else can happen. There's nothing good can come from any of that phone calls
Yeah.
until you really, really just get them. She's got to get sober. There's no,
Yeah.
I think drunk people are idiots, and you don't want to argue with an idiot because they're just going to pull you down and beat you with experience. They're going to pull you down to their level. So,
Mm.
well, but I got like a minute with you. Let's wrap it up. You want anything else you want to add?
No, just keep doing what you're doing. I know it's gonna be positive for a lot of people. I love the content of your page, and like I said, I've been on there for a few years now, and you just keep on keeping on.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you, buddy. And so yeah,
Yeah,
but I send your mom a letter maybe, for Thanksgiving.
yeah, I will. We're thinking about going back home for Thanksgiving, but
Well, send it
staying
to her.
away
Send her
from
one for
that house.
Send her one for Halloween. To find out, and so when you see her on Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is tough, man. That's just that's a 4 or 5 bottle wine day, wine a bottle. So,
Yeah.
all right, Nick, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, see you, buddy.
Bye bye.
Gary Adams making a comment. Howdy to all my sober peeps. Dave Edmiston. So sorry to hear that, Tom. I have family disconnections in my life. So sad. Yeah, that is sad, man. David Gossman. Hey, David, by the way, congrats to you. I think you said 50 days. Wife's mom is an alcoholic, lives 2 miles away. We haven't spoken to her in 11 years because of her drinking. Wow. I do this show on my act. I said, I used to measure everything in beer. Cut my grass, 4 beers. From my house to church, 2 beers. From my house to my mother-in-law's house, 12 beers. And she lives with us. So that's David. Let's see, wife's mom, Natalie Jansen. Talk to her when she is sober. Listen to Natalie. Natalie has a lot of experience and kids and all. Natalie has lived a lot of life, and she has some war stories, and she takes. I bet she. Yeah, let's see. Natalie also says, "Don't get me wrong. I'm feeling great. Not drinking. My body's not following me." I bet it takes a while, Natalie. Carl Martin, my buddy Carl, making or attempting to make amends is not for anyone but the person trying. Has nothing to do with the other person. Well, maybe there's a difference. Maybe there need to be some apologies made before the amends are made. I don't know. Um, and DA Dennis Cruz, I see I was different being drunk or drinking. I overlook everything. All right, let's call our next caller. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. This is Sarah Ann. Let's call Sarah Ann, see if she's around. Guys, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. That nap really did so much for me, and it's nice.
Hello.
Hi, is this Sarah?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing all right.
So
I was
you,
kind of watching it, and
you
I
were,
had to pause it.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, well, what part of the world are you in? What part of the United States do you live?
I'm in New Hampshire in the Lakes region.
Oh, wow. You say
Yeah.
the lake region?
Yeah, Lakes region.
Okay. Is it like the Great Lake? No, Great Lakes. That's like Pennsylvania Erie area.
Oh no, It's New Hampshire, part of New England. It's like Meredith, Alton, Tilton,
See, my
Laconia.
geometry is just
Yeah.
awful. I'm not good at all the worldly things there you got, you know.
You know what happens. Usually when
So,
I say New Hampshire, people are like, what?
so how long? Tell me your story. Give us a rundown of your deal.
Well, I mean, long story short, it kind of really flared up about 4 years ago. I want to say that was like the real beginning of it. We were living with my father-in-law at that point, and and then we moved out. We've been place where we are for a little bit over 3 years, and it got really bad to the point where I was drinking not a fifth of vodka a day, but whatever the one below that is, and then
Yeah.
I got the 30 rack, the 12 pack, and then the past couple of years I've just been. I thought, I don't know, I thought I was basically drinking myself to death, but come to find out I have something called EOE for short, which is basically my body is allergic to a lot of things and it reacts very weirdly to them.
Yeah, a lot
And
of people have an allergy to alcohol, that's for sure.
yep, and yeah,
And
with the
speaking of EOE, we are looking for a little person to work here at the office, but that's a joke that even went over my head. But go ahead. We're talking about that's
I
for
know what
short.
you're saying. Yeah.
You said for short. Hey, we're looking to hire somebody here. So go ahead.
Oh, that's awesome. But it got to the point where I was vomiting. I felt like I constantly had the flu, like really bad all the time, and it was
Yeah.
just it was horrible, and then I got diagnosed with that August 28th of this year, and looking back at it now, my GI doctor's like, yeah, you're allergic to the alcohol you're drinking. I'm like, well, prayers have been answered, because I literally would pray and take it away from me, or literally, no joke, make me allergic to it, and lo and behold, God's got jokes, because that's what happened.
Yeah, well, my thing is, because my health was stronger than my willpower. Do you find that with you? Do you find that, you weren't just getting drunk, you were getting, projectile vomiting, allergic reactions to it. Do you find that, did it make it easier for you to quit when you had that,
In a way, yeah, but for me, it kind of, it doesn't really make sense, but for me, it does. My willpower was stronger than my body
Mm-hmm.
at that point and for so long, but then it just got to the point where, I was yet again honest with my kids, and, I told them that, hey, this is what's going on. This is why I've been so sick, with the alcohol. And then, obviously I have to stop it, along with so many dairy, food restrictions. And then, it's like, you got to take a good look at it. And, I wanted to quit for like the longest time, but it's just, I knew I would get there eventually. And I'm not saying I'm not going to slip up. I'm not saying that.
Right. Hey, David Edmonston says everyone is allergic to alcohol. So, yeah, I used to do this joke.
Right.
Yeah, I break out in handcuffs when I drink. So, how long have you not had a drink?
It's been 37 days today. It was August 30th of this year.
And is this your first time going any, length of time without, drinking?
No, it actually, when I was younger, when I was, right before I got pregnant with my youngest son, I was, it wasn't nearly as often as I was now, but I was a night drinker. I would work during the day, work 40, 50 hours a week, come home, take care of my kids, put my oldest son to bed, and then I would drink.
Have your
thing.
kids ever seen you drunk off your butt?
They have, but they didn't really notice. Because even my husband didn't notice until I broke down crying to him one night about a year ago. I was like, I really seriously need your support and help right now.
Oh my gosh. So you were like a closet drinker then, and you're drinking the vodka where they couldn't really smell it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. And are you going to a therapist? Are you doing like any other groups like Sober Talk or anything? Are you doing anything, or you just all you? You think you could get my issue was that first of all I quit many times, and the time I quit for 2 years, my doctor says you have alcohol induced cardiomyopathy, and and that's where I couldn't even walk. I'm like a giant, Greyhound bus with a tiny little four Pinto engine. My heart
Yeah.
couldn't,
Couldn't carry you.
yeah, couldn't carry me. And but this past time I went out, I just it was emotionally horrible, and just saying things to my wife and kids, being, I was just so miserable, self-medicating,
Yeah.
and 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 it made it worse. But I didn't care about my health. I just didn't. When I went, I think I started drinking again in December of 19, and
Yep.
then quit for a few months, and then started back up. And I'm like, wait a
Right.
minute, I've tried everything. So I'm personally doing a 12-step program, and I'm liking
Yep.
where that's going.
Yeah.
And different things for different folks. We're not affiliated or associated with anything here in Sober Talk. A lot of people just.
Yep. I
But
get it.
are you doing anything? Are you in kind of a therapy or anything, or just doing it by trying to figure it out yourself?
Not currently. Yeah, I'm basically trying to figure it out myself. I was gonna do the whole rehab thing for the past couple of years, but it worked out so that I've been the sole caretaker for my two kids like their whole life, which is 13 and a half years now is my oldest, 10 and a half is my youngest. And I
How
couldn't
how how,
confidently
how you're 10 and a half is your youngest? How old is your oldest?
13 and a half.
Okay. So you're the primary breadwinner, so you going away for 21 days or 28 days wasn't really an option, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean I've been their caretaker since the day they were born. It was just so that wasn't it wasn't me making excuses like people probably thought I was.
Right?
But and I'm not gonna lie, internally I was like, oh thank God, because
No,
I didn't
you
want to
didn't want to
do
do it. You
the
didn't want to do it.
exactly,
But I tell you what,
exactly.
I got friends who love their rehab. They love their treatment facilities. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
my mom, when I was a kid, we went to live with my aunt and uncle
yeah,
for a little bit, and I realized it was because my mom was an alcoholic, because
yeah.
she went away to Our Lady of Peace to get off the sauce, and I didn't know that
Yeah.
until like a couple of weeks ago. Uh,
Oh wow.
so yeah, that was something else. But so well, I suspect, and I'm sure that our little community here would concur. I don't know. You have two kids. I really hope that you could find. I suspect you're going to find something to help you, even if it's just sober talk, even if it's just nightly.
Yeah.
We're just a little. We have a private group here, and
Mhm.
to get in there, and you find you find a Carl or someone who's just a sober dictionary, and he knows,
Yeah.
someone in the group who can just really help you. But just work something, become accountable, and just do anything and everything not to drink. And you sound like you came out of this unscathed. Sound like you haven't. Have you been arrested or anything from drinking?
No, thanks the good Lord. I don't have a record. I was stupid, very very stupid. Not this past summer, but the summer before, and my kids were with their dad, and because we're not together, but we do good relationship, whatever. But I got really stupid and got stupid drunk one night, and I looked at my husband. I was like, well, I'm gonna go drive myself out of the emergency room. Like thinking like, oh yeah, the cops are gonna bring me there. It's gonna be fine. They kind of looked at me like they didn't say that I'm an idiot, but they kind of looked at me like you're an idiot. Like that's not how it works.
Have you ever
So that
gone?
was
Have you ever gotten so drunk that you had gone to the ER?
no,
Because
no.
I recommend that, because they can't. I got people call. They don't have insurance or whatever. You can always go to the emergency room, and they'll call a facility who will come there, and they'll figure out a way for you to pay them. Trust me, they'll get you a scholarship or apply for
Right,
a special, a special
right.
something. So, uh, well, man, it was really nice chatting with you. So you've been just, you say 30 something days now sober?
Yeah, 37 since August 30th.
Yeah, at work, and I tell you what, and I'm not trying to be a big book a thumper or whatever,
Hey, no,
but
I mean if it works,
well,
take
it's,
it if it works.
again, I've tried a bunch of different things, and it may or may not work for me. I may end up doing something else. I may do shock therapy or deep brain
Right.
stimulation. I don't know, but
Find yourself in the face. No, I'm kidding.
the thing I do like, and I got my kid who's never had a drop of alcohol in his life reading the
Hmm.
big book. It's like this is a great
Yeah, that's awesome.
roadmap for anybody. It's just a great, great, and you learn, you know, you drinking is just a symptom of the rid, restless, irritable, and discontent. Drinking is
Yeah.
just you are self-medicating something. Drinking is not the problem. It is a
The
problem.
reason why you're doing it.
Yeah, you got to figure out why you are drinking. What was that abandonment? What was that trauma?
Yeah.
Did your mom forget to put jelly on your peanut butter sandwich when you were a kid or something? What the hell? Until you deal with the issue, you
Yeah.
may keep on trying to self-medicate.
Right.
That's why they call it dry drunk.
Yeah.
Being alcohol-free and happy and being alcohol-free is different than being alcohol-free and happy. And
Oh, absolutely.
that's what I'm trying to get to. And like I said, I'm a slow learner, so I'm taking the steps really, really slow. But I'm not
Right.
drinking and I'm talking a lot about it. So, um,
Just one word of advice,
what's that?
if you don't mind.
No,
Is
sure.
how people say day by day, take it day by day.
Uh-huh.
As far as I'm concerned, you can't even do that. You have to do it urge by urge, like moment by moment. That is what will ultimately help you, I feel.
Yeah, yeah, and I have
And
a doctor friend who another interpretation of the day by day is, when you're someone who's freshly, just say you quit today. Okay, I'm not going to drink
right.
today. They go take it day by day. It sounds like a huge cliche, but there's something
Yep.
behind that as well because you get one day under your belt. That next day, you're
Oh,
like, what?
yeah.
You go, oh, I did it. I can do another day. And then by the time you get 2 or 3 days under your belt, you are going to fend the hell out of those sober days, and you are not going to just give them up for nothing. A lot of people,
Right.
a lot of people go 30 days and celebrate. But yeah, like you said, moment by moment. And there's been days where I felt like last Monday and Tuesday I was down at Hilton Head, and
Yeah.
I had to take it moment by moment, just like you said. I could not sit still. I was like
Yeah.
anything. My brain had hired a team of lawyers to convince me that I
Yeah.
should drink. No, you
Yeah.
have to
Because
drink
it's like
'cause
a day is too long
a
sometimes.
day. I love that moment by
It
moment.
feels like a year, you
I
know?
I agree. I I totally oh, so Natalie Jans, uh, you know it's you ever heard that saying? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. She just
It's
put
always that customer.
she put
No.
it's noon somewhere. I thought that's hilarious. It's noon
Yeah.
somewhere. Uh,
There you go.
and we were talking about triggers on a couple of shows ago. We were talking about triggers. I went live from Hilton Head, and someone said everything's a trigger. Monday's a trigger. Laundry piling up is a trigger. Everything's a
Yeah.
trigger. So yeah, man,
Yep.
I want to start. I'm thinking about start working out a whole lot like our other guest Michael who came or Nick who came on one of the earlier guests.
Yeah.
MMA fighter they just work out quite a bit. Well, man, it was Sarah. It was so nice speaking with you.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it.
Any other last words before we part?
No, I mean, like I said, just take it moment by moment. And like you said, reach out to somebody, if you need to.
Yeah.
If you need a sober companion, do what you do. Whatever works, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else.
Right. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Hope to talk with you down there. And man, try to take it 60 more days and pick up the big book or pick
I
up.
will.
All right. And you go if you probably call somebody. I tell you, I got this app on my phone. It's called it is a great app. It's called the spiritual my spiritual toolkit, and it will tell me like the days 81 days. It says
Yep.
view today's daily reflection on Alcoholics Anonymous website. I hit that, and the
Hmm.
it really goes through it. It tells you yesterday's baggage. For the wise have always known that no one can make much of his life until self-searching becomes a regular habit, until he is
Yep.
able to
Yeah.
admit and accept what he finds, until he patiently and persistently tries to correct what is wrong. So yeah, so it takes you it's a
Self-improvement.
great app on my phone. It keeps track of the hours and minutes and
Hmm.
everything. But well, all right. Well, Sarah, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you, Tom. God bless.
God bless you. See you. Bye
Have a good night. Bye.
bye. Gosh, she sucked. Who the hell was that? I'm never talking to her again. Teaser. She was sweet. Wasn't she a sweet lady? That's a joke. She didn't suck at all, Sarah. I'm playing a little jokey joke. That's my other life, I do comedy. Not that was very funny. But I want to tell you right now, I'm a funny guy. You come see me. If you never see me live, you're in for a treat. You guys I'm good. I'm just good. I'm professional. Okay, I'm teasing. So let's see here. We have, let's see who's in my queue. I got Sarah. Oh, hold on here. Uh, real quick. We got two more people to call. All right. I want to keep them real short here. 'Cause...
Nope.
Hey, buddy, Tom Mabe from Sober Talk. How are you?
Hey, Tom.
So, where am I calling? 323. Where's that?
I got sober in Los Angeles.
You got sober in Los Angeles. It's October out there, my friend. Sober October. Do you live out in LA?
No, I thank God to a good life in Los Angeles. Met a girl from New York, moved to the East Coast.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful wedding, and that wonderful marriage lasted all of 9 months. So
Oh, and then the baby was born and ruined it for everybody, right?
no kids, quick separation. Handed her a check, and she gave me her blessing to leave.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still in New York now, and I hang out in Florida, in the South Florida area, Boca, Delray during the winters.
Wow, cool. So do you drink or did you drink or what's going on with you?
I drank as a child in grade school and high school, and I got into the heavier stuff right after. And I did not get sober until I turned 27. So I drank and used just about 20 years, and the crack cocaine really made that go a little bit faster. And I'm now 40, so I've been sober since then. I've been sober since I got a sponsor in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. Now, hey, real quick, are you talking into the phone? Or are you on speak? Or how are you utilizing your digital cellular device right now?
I was on speaker, but apparently, I can hold the phone.
Man, if you could teach yourself that, I'm telling you, I forget to remind people that it sounds light years better. I promise you. So you go to Florida for the summer, as you say. You have any triggers?
For the winters.
For the winter. Yeah, sorry, for the winter. Yeah, go to Naples during the summer. You'll never go to Florida again. But so it was hard to hear. Earl, how long have you been in treatment and in AA, and how long have you been sober?
13 years.
Wow.
2007.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's just that first little bit that really much matters. After that, you just sort of, after you go through the steps, you're just a grown-up who just goes and lives your life.
I'm having a problem with step 4 and 5, man. This whole I was doing the steps with a friend of a friend, somewhat like a stranger, and they were really aggressive with me. They were, dude, you're pretty much like, oh, stand back there, Sparky. It's a little, and so you need to go back and write your resentments, or whatever, and it's kind of scary. Step
4 and 5 catches a lot of people.
Yeah.
It looks really scary. It looks like I'm going to write down all my resentments, and you hear people talk about it, what a difficult time they had. So I've got a sponsor. Right. I've got 2 sponsees. One of my sponsees already sponsors somebody else.
Wow.
So we believe in moving through the work relatively quickly. When my sponsee came up to the 4th step, I told him, look, man, you've got a week. You've got a week to get through the writing. Well, most people it takes about 2 hours and 6 months. You procrastinate, you push. Nobody likes to do the writing. Nobody wants to sit down at an empty table where nobody else is around, no music. Stop, pray, do some meditation. Actually ask yourself the difficult questions of why was I upset? Who was I upset at? And how did it make me feel? Nobody sits in their chair and asks themselves those questions, ever. It's just not something that very few people are brought up to do that as a young child.
Right.
But that's what's necessary. You have to look at a situation and find out when you're angry. Well, why am I angry? What is this? What triggered? What did that man say that made me so angry? Why did I get so angry when he said that I was a thief? Well, you know what? Maybe it's because I stole his wallet. Are the words true? Am I allowed to be upset by that?
Right.
So if the words.
Go ahead.
When my sponsee comes up to it, I told him, dude, you've got a week. Because the 4th step, from what you've heard of it and what you see of it, column 1 is who you're angry at. Column 2, why you're angry at them, which automatically makes it righteous.
Right.
Because the resentment is based upon a real or imaginary hurt. So this is who hurt me. This is how he hurt me. Well, now my anger is righteous. And column 3, exactly how it affected me. Well, now you're just filled up with righteous anger. And there is no part of being angry full time that leads to any sort of peace and serenity.
So
unless,
the people at home who are listening, because a lot of our folks who watch Sober Talk, they're not AA people. They're doing other things, which is cool. But we're talking about step 4 and 5, and that's writing down your resentments, and you're going through the different things that you write down and whatnot. So just want to it makes sense to people who don't know what the hell we're talking about. So
so it appears the step 4 appears to be a resentment inventory. That's what it's sold as.
resentment,
That's what people
resentment.
hear about it.
What were the other word? Resentment and what?
A resentment inventory. An
Yeah,
inventory, a
inventory.
listing of my resentment.
Right.
But that is not the purpose of the 4th step. We really don't care about your resentment.
Okay.
What we're looking for out of the 4th and 5th step is a list of your fears, your character defects, your character profile, the way you view yourself. Are you narcissistic? How would you rate the 7 deadly sins in your personal life, and how well do you nurture them? Do you water them? So we use a resentment inventory to gain knowledge, because when we see resentments that we have towards other people and we see their behavior, we can then recognize those behaviors in ourselves. And that's what we're looking for. Some of this is going to be used later on for AA and the 8-step and 9-step amends process. But what we're looking for is how it made you feel, which will help us catalog our fears, which is why in every member of Alcoholics Anonymous who does the 4th or 5th step does it with a sponsor. Because this is done in prayer with a sponsor, with
but I'm
guide
I'm
holding your
really
hand.
liking how you're explaining it. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on it because a lot of people don't know what the hell we're talking about. But I really like the way that you are breaking this down. It's really because man, I've had people try to break it down to me, and I got a buddy here in town who's doing a good job. But a lot of the folks I've worked with, I gotta learn by doing. But for the first time, the way you're breaking, boy, it's very nice. I appreciate you breaking it down like that. But let's get back.
AA wasn't,
AA
wasn't my first rodeo. I tried the therapeutic community. I did 9 months treatment center. I did the 28-day program. I did the outpatient. I tried switching from drugs to alcohol, from hard liquor to beer.
Yeah.
I tried, just not drinking on school days, just trying to keep it to Saturday mornings in temple, drinking Johnny Walker under the table as an 11-year-old, hiding under the table, finishing the leftover glasses from the old men.
Yeah, that's same here. I tried all that stuff too. Not everything you spoke of, but this is my first time.
I stopped at AA because it worked. I stopped at AA because I didn't need to go, because it worked for me.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it works for me. This is my first time doing it, and
you have a sponsor?
Do what now? Yes, I have a temporary sponsor, and
temporary.
Yeah, that's just because
I hope he stays temporary till you die. No problem. Keep him temporary for the next 40 years. Nobody cares.
Well, no, just trying to but that's because we don't know how it's going to work out. I had a good one of my dear friends who's in the program, and we tried it, and he was the old school sponsor, and rulers over the fingers, and and I'm like, dude, you make me want to drink. You're actually becoming one of my resentments. I don't want to do this with you, So obviously, okay, now I gotta read this. Carl Martin, well, I don't even know if I want to start open up that can of worms. Let's see, caller. Let's just remember to focus on the positives aspects of recovery as well. It pays to see what's wrong. It pays off to focus on the solutions. We can do it. Another person says, I simply do not appreciate any person that forced the steps on people. He did not. This is someone who tried other things, and that's why I definitely don't try to force. I'm an AA guy right now, and I'm loving it. I'm kind of slow. I'm in no rush to get to them. I'm only 81 days in, and I'm still not step 4 and 5. About a month ago, I was trying step 4 or 5, and like I said, the guy who almost turned into a resentment. I just put it off, but I have to get back to it, and I will. But this is a marathon. This is going to be a long road for me, and so if we had someone come in, and I get calls from people who go, hey man, I'm drunk, I'm homeless, or I'm living, next behind a hotel or whatever, not even in a hotel. And I'm afraid to give anyone advice because I'm just some dude who's doing sober talk. What would you tell that person?
It would be very egotistical for me to tell you that AA is the only way that works and the steps is the only one. To think that I have uh, control or knowledge of everything out there in the world would be foolish. I just know that the steps work for me currently in my life.
No, it
For
sounds
somebody,
good. Yeah.
I no longer offer advice until it's asked, but if somebody asks you for advice, for the man who's homeless, you know, I was homeless for a while in Brooklyn, New York, and it's cold in the winter, and
Right.
you sleep on a train, you wake up in the South Bronx, not the best neighborhood, 20 years ago.
Right.
For a 13-year-old. I remember there was a guy in our Beverly. My home group was Saturday morning Beverly Hills Meeting of Cocaine Anonymous,
Yeah.
and we had a homeless guy there, and he was there every Saturday. And he'd come in drunk sometimes, but we had bagels and cream cheese and lots on Passover. We had good stuff over there, and I got him a gym membership. I prepaid for 2 months because the gym membership comes with sinks, bathrooms, and showers.
Ooh, I
And
like
you can
that.
shower
Yeah.
every day. Now, you may be homeless and sleeping on the street, and in Beverly Hills, it's pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
11 and a half months of the year. You get the 2 weeks in February where it rains, but even that rain is not the worst. But a gym membership will give you a place to shower and brush your teeth every day. Exercise if you're bored, even some TV in the news. If you can scrounge together enough food for a meal, you can scrounge up enough to go and you wash your clothes in the sink. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you you're homeless, you're trying to better yourself. But if you can clean yourself, and there are people that will help out. There are dry cleaners. I'm telling you, if I know about a half dozen of them, they must be in every state. Where if you tell them, look, I got a job interview, can you help me out and do some laundry? Where there's a will, there's a way. If you're waiting for somebody else to fix something for you, that's never going to happen. That's not guaranteed. It is mighty Christian to go and help out your brother neighbor. But nobody owes you anything. Nobody. If there's a saying, pull yourself up by the bootstrap, it's by holding on to your actual boots you can pull. Theoretically, there are people who can pull up their entire body by holding on to the straps on their boots. Yeah, some days it's going to take that kind of work. I'm grateful I didn't have that problem. I had a hand up and 5 rehabs in. God, my life was a dream. My life was a dream compared to most. Yeah, my father was killed when I was 7. My mother raised 6 of us by herself. I had a stepfather that came in and beat the crap out of a few of us.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, my life is pretty good today.
What do you do? What did you do? What did you do? What were you went from New York?
I did grocery store management. I was actually a wine and liquor salesman for the first 8 years of my sobriety.
Oh, wow.
I used to go to liquor shows and smell all the bottles. And I was going to 2 meetings a day. I prayed 3 times a day. I'm very big into prayer.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in the power of prayer. Absolutely.
I started off as an asshole until I go to services, and then I turned to an asshole about noon, and I need to go pray again. And Lord help me, I never make it through the rest of the day. And look, if you hurt somebody, you make amends. Amends is not saying I'm sorry. Amends is balancing the scales. So there are some people out there that I had to make amends to. And you walk over and you say you're sorry and you think it's handled. It didn't. It didn't set up anything right. When you step on somebody's shoe, making amends is not saying you're sorry. Making amends is brushing the dirt off the shoe, asking them if their toes are okay, and maybe carrying their groceries while they're limping home. So walking through life as a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous is about being available to help anybody who needs.
And I've
having the knowledge.
Yeah, and I've been trying to help people too. When I get feeling, like you, I'm sure that when you get feeling really tempted, or you'll call your sponsees and talk with them and give them advice to try to do something good. And I've been a lot of times I've just kind of been reading this, when I'm having a hard time with I'll do something good for somebody, and that really seems to help. And again, I'm a newbie. I'm doing about 3 to 5 meetings a week, and I do sober talk just about every night during the week. But
Well, for anybody who's listening, for anybody, one of the greatest things you can ever do, and pass this along to everybody else in your life, do something nice for somebody else and don't tell anybody about it.
ooh,
Tell no one. Don't tell your mother. Don't tell your brother. Don't tell your children. Don't tell your neighbor. Don't tell your sponsor. Don't tell your sponsee. Don't tell anybody else. This is the highest form. And I promise you, you will find self-esteem in abundance. You will find purpose. The reward of doing good for others is the way it makes us feel. It's not, well, maybe I'll go to heaven, or maybe they'll tip me, or maybe they'll smile at me. And if you can do something for somebody else that they can't do for themselves, man, a slice of pizza for that homeless guy who's not trying to drink, who's just had it rough, or babysitting for an hour for that single mom with 3 kids, whatever the hell it is, do something nice for somebody else. And you'll find that the world is just a beautiful place to be, where we can all be that.
well, brother, man, that's go ahead, wrap it up. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, the other part doesn't matter. Skip it. It's good for another time.
Okay, speaking of another time, would you want to come back on? I mean,
Anytime.
yeah,
I got a sponsee who's available too. I'll talk them all in. And I got a group of friends. All of them will be available. We all love service. We love being sober.
Well, this is what this is. This is a service, and I think that I think part of my folks here agree. Part of them don't agree what you're saying, but it's resonating with me. I enjoy it. So I'll have you. I would love to have you back on, brother. And it's Noah, right?
Yeah, you got my number.
Yeah, 323. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
You got it. Take care, Tom.
So that was wow. This caller has helped me remember the most other callers. He does not have what I want, but I do want to remain sober, and he has furthered my commitment. Interesting. So we got one more person to call here. Let's do this. One more person. Here we go. This is Steve. Let's get Steve. We are running late. I didn't know how to pace my folks here, and what a good problem to have. People want to be on sober talk. Hey, is this Steve?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Steve Bailey, how you doing, bro? I'm sorry I'm running late. I overschedule sometimes because a lot of times people just don't pick up. Well, everyone picked up tonight. So, what's
That's
up?
a good thing.
Yeah, it is. What part of the world you in?
I'm in Iowa, man.
That's right. We discussed that. And how long you been sober?
About 16 months.
Wow, congrats. That's a good length of time. And what are you? What was your weapon of choice? Are you a user, a drinker, or what?
I was a drinker,
Gotcha.
a bad drinker. Yeah.
Gotcha. And are you? How did you just white knuckle it and you're just trying every day not to drink, or do you use?
I just decided I was just gonna go ahead and try to not drink. I had some buddies that were in AA. It's kind of a funny situation here. There's some of the AA counselors downtown are actually alcohol and drug users, and I just found it so ironic that these guys are in a class, trying to coach people into getting better, and they're actually, using alcohol. So that kind of turned me away from that right away. I'm not saying they're all bad. Don't get me wrong.
I don't. If you live in a small town, I can see it. But yeah, don't judge one AA meeting by It's kind of like it's like not all cops are bad, but the one people focus. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
I heard that stuff, and in town, and I do painting, and I actually see the person. They're still down there. They still work there, but. Anyway, that kind of turned me away from it right away, the fact that these people are preaching to not do what they're doing, you know what I mean? So I just went to work one day, and my brother's like, man, how much did you drink last night? Like, dude, I didn't drink any. I would drink literally almost a 30-pack every night for about 3 weeks, and then I'd have like a night or two where I'd go into recovery mode. And that happened to be a day after I was in that shutdown, and I said, dude, I haven't had anything to drink. He's like, man, you smell like you've been up for a week drinking. And
Wow.
it was that bad. And I was like, man. So I decided at that point, I was like, you know what? We got to stop. We got to do something to get this back on track. So whatever works for everybody is the right way. I mean, no matter what, however everybody wants to do it. But when I white knuckled it, when you drink that much, it was, I'll bet you close to 2 months. I didn't sleep at all. Like, it was like the worst thing I ever went through. It was, I ain't trying to scare anybody away, but it was pretty bad.
30 beers a night, and you didn't go to some kind of a professional detox facility? Wow, man, I'm happy that you were able to do that, because I don't think anyone should do that, right? That's a tough time.
No, I don't think you should. Like, I was reading up on it and stuff like that, and they all tell you, to seek help and go to the doctor and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just got it into my head. I was like, screw it, we're just gonna do it. And yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was that's probably the worst 2 months of your body coming back to life. Basically, what it was.
Yeah, because I think a doctor could give you some kind of the benzos or something, and then taper you off of them. So yeah, I just don't want people at home thinking they could drink 30 beers a day and then quit. And quit without help. That's
no, that's what I mean. Whatever works, however anybody needs to do it is the right way. I mean, do what what you think's best. It was just the way that I went about it, and I don't know. In the back of my mind, I was kind of when I was younger, I did drugs and stuff, and I never even started drinking until like my early 30s, and when I stopped doing drugs, it was like a couple years later that I started the alcohol, and then it was like I just felt, normal again.
Right.
And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, man, if I go in and I start getting some sort of, pills or something for this, I don't know if it'll lead me back into that or what it was. I just got afraid of it, basically, what happened. So, yeah, that was it was a very dark time, but I mean,
man, so how do you get tempted now? So you're 16 months in, do you get like, man, come on, I've gone 16 months. I'm never going to drink 30 beers again. Or do you think that you'll pick right up where you left off and be drinking 30 beers a night again? What do you think?
You see, that's okay. This is kind of ironic. I ran into a friend right before I stopped drinking, and I was telling him, I'm like, man, I got to slow down and quit drinking. And he's like, oh, I'm an alcoholic too, and this and that, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to stop this weekend. And he's like, oh, I haven't drank in 14 years. I'm like, what do you mean you're an alcoholic? And then he's telling me like I don't know where he went to get sober, but he's like, man, it's like how they teach you. You're always going to be an alcoholic. And I thought to myself, like, they're teaching you to be afraid of something the rest of your life. And I'm not saying any of that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I look at it like, to answer your question, I look at it more like, putting yourself in your fear. Like, you're a comedian, when you first started out, you had to be nervous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's when I kind of became an alcoholic, with stand-up comedy. Yeah, because I was fighting the nerves with that, and I should have experienced
That's what helped you, huh?
It was false confidence, but yeah, and plus I'm a musician, so, I mean, I always drink. I started to drink, but when I started doing comedy, I had a hit CD. I already sold 1 million CDs before I even got on stage. A CD called "Revenge on the Telemarketers," where I record. So everybody's comedy clubs all around the country will bring me in because they knew I could sell the place out. But I couldn't follow the local DJ giving away free T-shirts. Man, that guy's good. I had no comedy experience. I had no stage time. So I would get up there and they just threw me to the wolves, and it was not it. Yeah, and there's comedy clubs who will never have. Well, I don't do clubs anymore anyway, but there's clubs who would never have me back because I either sucked 20-something years ago or I was drunk 20-something years ago. Now I'm bulletproof, and you can parachute me in any situation. I did a show down at the Comedy Cabaret, and my buddy owns it in Hilton Head, and I did 30 minutes, no alcohol, and crushed it, just totally crushed it. And I love the natural high better than the fake high of being drunk on alcohol going up there.
Yeah.
But
my buddy, he just died. Well, one of them just died here a couple months back, and I was talking with him about it, and he says that natural high you're talking about. He says when he quit drinking when he was younger, he said they called it the pink cloud effect. Like you'll get this really good feeling, and it'll build you up. And then he said something to me. He says, in a couple months from now, he says you can come down and crash really hard, and it could be like the worst thing ever. And I was like, oh shit, man! Like don't tell me that. Like I got it into my mind, so I started to fear it. But I don't ever think to myself for 1 minute like, it's been 16 months. Like I don't even worry about it. Like after you go so long and you're not drinking, like the last caller said, it just becomes like. It's just normal. It's just another day, you know.
Yeah, as long as you're, not, well, here for me, I could not be happy and be alcohol free in the past. So I need to be alcohol free and happy. So that's what I'm working on because I miss being able to change my mood. I could alter my mood with two. I knew where 2 beers was going to take me. I knew where 6 beers was going to take me. And before I went on stage, I didn't want to get too drunk, but I knew, all right, and I used to tell my daughter, I want a pill that gave me a 4-beer buzz. I need something that gives me a 4 or 5-beer buzz. And I'm getting that definitely without alcohol. And I'm fixing myself without self-medicating and just pushing back what's wrong with me. It's like, your car's making all these noises. Oh, you need more. Turn your radio up. You need more speakers. And my more speakers was more alcohol. So,
yep.
Well, man, I'm very happy that you could do this.
Yeah, it's like Mike was saying, like your first caller.
Yeah.
Like when I quit drinking, I the whole friend thing, 100%. Like I had to get rid of everybody I know, and it's nothing against them. A lot of them won't even talk to me to this day. Like they won't talk to me. And it was just me. Like one of them said, he's like, man, I drink more than you, and I don't have a problem. And I'm like, dude, I'm waking up with 2 beers out of a 30-pack, and I'm sleeping for 3 hours and going to work. And I said, if I don't have a problem, you definitely have a problem, man. Like, so
how old are you? How old of a guy are you?
I just turned 40.
Okay, so you're still young, but yeah, if you continue drinking 30 beers a day, you would have cirrhosis of the liver, and you would something. But yeah, you can't kept on me. I'm glad you've been 16 months. You're not in any kind of a treatment center or any kind of. You did it without a facility. You're not.
Nope.
You're not. But well, man, good for you. The way
dude, I just like I say, you get rid of your friends, and not all of them. Don't get me wrong, but what I did was I started going walking because immediately after work I come home. Oh, and you were talking about doing the cleaning thing earlier. Every Friday night, like that was like I would just get obliviated beyond control. Friday night, like is my night. I go home instantly, and I will clean the house from ceiling fans. Myself, the entire house, and it takes about 5 hours. But by the time I'm done, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I still do it to this day.
No, that's great. And, so you have some kind of structure. Again, I don't know the answer or anything. I just don't want to, discourage anybody from getting, medical help or whatever. So, but you do what I do.
You need it. Yeah, definitely. I use walk and cleaning the house. I go for a walk right away after work. As soon as I got home, it's like it's funny because people would get drunk and they'd be like, oh, I'm hungover the next day. I'm like, man, you guys are lightweights. And I didn't realize, like, I'm like, dude, I'm such an alcoholic. I didn't realize how hungover I really was until I quit drinking. And it's funny because been trying to build this Amazon store for 4 years. And I'm always putting it off. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month, whatever. And it never came to. So when I quit drinking, I couldn't sleep. And, well, most of your products come out of China, and the Chinese are awake while we're sleeping.
Yeah,
so
right.
It kind of ended up working out. Now I run on about 2 hours of sleep a night, period. And my products, after 4 years, have just hit the Amazon fulfillment centers. Like my business is just now up and starting. So I wish, if I would have kicked back on the drinking a long time ago, I could have been a lot further than where I'm at. So,
Real quick, I'm just curious. Give me a 10-second on your product. Is it family friendly? What is it that you have products on?
It's I'm selling in kitchen products. It's like storage for canned goods, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Yeah, so I'm with you. The past 6 months before, I stopped drinking, I got from December till July, I got nothing done. And my whole success is based on my drive, my determination, my need to be better than everyone else or have more. I used to I grew up so poor that I would judge my happiness by what I owned and what I had. And then finally I started owning all that stuff and I had all that stuff. And even 20 years ago, I could look, let's say 30, if I knew I had never dreamt to have, because I mean, I grew up poor, so poor. When someone said, we went to Florida on spring break, I wasn't impressed that they went to Florida on spring. I was more impressed that you got a car that would make it to Florida from Kentucky.
Dude, I
Wow.
hear you, man.
And
I hear you. I was in the same boat.
so I've been trying to buy happiness my entire life. And guess what? Uh, I work a lot and I'm not, it doesn't work.
No, it adds to the problem.
The sports car, the nice house, the place on the beach. I'm not trying to brag here in Atlanta, but they do not make you happy. I'm just as miserable looking at the beach as I am at home looking at garbage cans. It's just so that's what I'm in search of now. I'm in search of being happy and being content and being so. Brother, I got one more call to make. It's been great speaking with you. I'd love to talk with you again if you want to do it because
Sure.
I like your energy. It's just that we've gone over because I didn't manage my time right here. But man, I love to talk soon.
All right, man. Well, take care.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. All right, so that was a great call right there. Let's make our last and final call, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Call Carl.
Calling Carl.
Carl!
Tom,
What you doing, bud?
man, I am just sitting here watching your presentation on attempting to help all of us remain sober.
And mainly helping myself here, Carl. But wow, I saw your comments when the one dude was on the line. Great guy. I know a lot of people wasn't getting what he like. I kind of dug it. Probably have him on again. But wow, I love having these back-to-back call Carls. I really
Hey,
do.
Tom, but seriously, you need to have all types of because it's take what you want and leave the rest. It really is. And he he probably brought more simply because I did not enjoy or appreciate people like him. But he was the type of person that I was very easily able to develop a resentment against that kept me sober.
Right. And I have a couple of people in my life who I love dearly, but boy, I don't like talking about sobriety with them. Their methods of getting sober I'm not co-signing that, man. You get away from me. I don't want that. I do not want what you have there. That's funny. So, you doing okay? Everything good in your world?
Yeah, man, get my dad better and hope he lives. But really, life is good. I swear to goodness, the more I let go, the better life gets. And I mean, goodness, it is taking years, Tom, for me because I am a slow learner.
Me too. Amen. Amen.
And so, but the great thing is we get to listen to this show and hear all the different perspectives, and and I feel better. Hell, you came on and said you're in a good mood, and you didn't just say it, you act and look as though you're in a good mood.
Well, yeah, I took a nap in the middle of the day, which I rarely do, and boy, did I woke up feeling pretty good. And my brain is still jello, man. It's still all over the place. But I feel really, really good.
I'd feel worried if it wasn't. I mean, it would be. I'm serious.
Well, man, check it out. We went an hour and 30 tonight. went an hour and 30. I love having the back-to-back calls like this. And I'm going to upload this. Carrie got my assistant, who I haven't really seen in months because of COVID. She still works from home, but we do have this Sober Talk Live that's on a podcast. And man, please, guys, be sure to tell your family and friends about this, and anyone you think may. I would love to see it grow. I would love to see this to be the major thing I did in my life.
No, it's going to be huge time. But let me ask you one quick question about hemp. And from what I understand, CBD or whatever. I mean, I have serious arthritis problems in my back and shoulders. And from what I've been told in the past, I mean, this is a potential helper for me. And I'm not trying to promote your business.
No, I hear what you're saying. But, let me give you the rundown of how CBD works. And it can actually,
yes, please.
I have people who take it who get off pain pills. I have people take it for the nerves. I have your body in 1991, they found out we have an endocannabinoid system. And there's two receptors in your brain, receptor A, receptor B. Receptor A is for your depression, your anxiety, your bad thoughts, receptor B is your major organs, your joints. And up until 1937, CBD hemp was like the number one, top three pharmaceutical. Hell, Eli Lilly grew their own hemp. So the endocannabinoid system is like the wiring system in your old Chevy, your 1975 Chevy. You take it to your buddy's dad, go, hey man, it didn't want to start this morning. It died at the stop sign. It starts shaking and shimmying. I think I got a bad spark plug cable. And he goes, well, it could be a bad cable. It could be a bad distributor cat. You may have a cracked distributor cat. Hell, it may be all 8 bad cables. We just don't know. So the endocannabinoid system in your body is kind of like the firing system in your old Chevy. And whatever's misfiring, the CBD goes in and it finds that receptor and kind of smooths it out. So people say, what do I take for depression? Or what do I take for arthritis? CBD will help anything, depending on what's misfiring, and you start low and slow, I have golfers who'll take they'll do the on their elbow or on their shoulders, they'll do the topical cream. And if you
what I was going to ask.
Yeah, the topical cream, and then take an oil and I'll tell you all this off the air, but there's different things that I recommend. The only thing that I have not seen people who, and I can't talk. I just say Google CBD and see what kind of benefits are out there. But I get people who call, say they got a sciatic nerve damage or something, and I just say, I haven't heard anyone where it's helped that. But I know a lot of our customers come up for a variety of depression, aches and pains, mood. So
yeah, I've even heard about it helping with depression, but mainly I know that most recently, now this is only coming to me most recently, is CBD helps with the joint pains, and I'm talking about older people that would not lie. I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. They come up to we gotta have to show it one day. We gotta have stairs to get up, and people who have issues with the stairs coming up, by a few months go by, and they don't mind the stairs. So, but well, Carl, thanks for let's see here.
Great show tonight. Tom.
No, it was good. Let me read this comment real quick. It says, my son, who is 4 years old, has a rare form of systemic arthritis. Instead of inflammation, his bones and joints, he gets inflammation in any organ system. Mississippi is voting on medical marijuana this election cycle. I'm hoping it passes. Yeah, our full spectrum has 0.03% of THC in it, and it supercharges those other components. And that hemp plant has 2 major cannabinoids, famous cannabinoids, CBD and THC. But there's other cannabinoids within that hemp plant that they're just finding out about. So when you get a full spectrum, they give you everything in the hemp plant. And that little bit of THC supercharges. People say they want to isolate because they get drug tested, and that's what they should do. But if you don't get drug tested, get the full, wherever you get it from, get full spectrum. And I really appreciate if you do take it, check out hemp.
Get full what, Tom?
Full spectrum. Get the full spectrum
full
CBD.
Spectrum. Okay.
And that has a little bit of everything from that hemp plant. So that's cool. So, and big shout out to our sponsor, hempwellnessfarm.com. They're a great company. How do I know? Because I own the company. And even if I sell an extra couple bottles a week, that would help me hire a little person. You know,
Absolutely. No,
little Tom Cruise.
Hey, I'm gonna try it regardless.
Yeah,
If it
well,
doesn't work.
any place, just there's some things you don't buy at a gas station. So, just be careful what you're getting. Anybody want to ask me about it, they can call, just call or text me or whatever. But well, Carl, man, I just want to wrap up the show with you. I'm glad you're here, but I got to get home. They're wondering where the hell I'm at.
Spot on. Go get some rest.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you, Carl.
All right. See you, Tom.
See you, buddy. So there you go, guys. We had a special 1 hour, 35 minutes, 19-second sober talk, and I had a blast. And I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. They said today is day 81 for me. If you want to be a guest, be sure to email me, tom@tommabe.com. I'm going to put it in the comments here, tom@tommabe.com. And just give me a little story and your phone number. Just tell me if you want to help a loved one or you want to get sober yourself or whatever it may be. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Barely made it to the other room. Look at that. There we go. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you again. Do me a favor and tell a buddy, tell a friend. I love having a crowd here. I will talk to you soon. See you. Bye.